Okay, so 7th grade, now that you've had some time to practice your curved lines, I really want you guys to push yourselves to make these look really interesting. If your tubes are just going straight up and straight down, this is not interesting. So now is the time to add some variation to that. And by variation, I mean change it up a little bit. So notice how it starts small and really close together, and then it gets really large and further apart, and then it gets skinny and closer together again. Also notice how it's turning off of the paper. So these are things I want you to try to do. In order to turn your tube, you've got to bring your pencil closer to the right side, okay? If you want it to go right, you go to the right side. If you want it to go left, you put your pencil further up on the curve, and that will help it go left. Also, change up the amount of times you're using one location. Here you can see I've used this location twice, and here I just did one. Okay, so maybe you do 2, and then 1, and then maybe 3. Sometimes you will have to do a bunch of 1s to get it to turn how you want it to. So notice here I did 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I did a whole bunch of 1s to get it to turn. Once you have it turned where you want to, then you can change up the variation a little bit. So remember that the tube is not complete unless it does one of two things. It either needs to go off of the paper or it needs to collide with another tube. So let's look at my next tube right here. This one, this dot to this dot, I'm going to have it collide into this tube, or it's going to run right into it. And that's going to make it look like it's going underneath of it. Okay? Remember that we want to achieve a lot of depth. So make sure that your lines are touching each other in the middle here. Okay? So this tube is going to look like it's colliding right underneath of it. Okay? So it collides right here and it looks like it's going under. Then I'm going to finish this dot to dot on the bottom. Make sure you guys that you do one whole top and one whole bottom before you move on to the next dot to dot. Okay? So here we go. Let's make this one more interesting. I'm going to change this up a little bit. So I did 3 there. I moved my pencil up and did 1. And now I'm going to continue to grow this one. There's 2. Let's move my pencil up again a little bit. Always making sure that it's touching right here. I'm going to do a couple 1s. And then I'm going to make it look like it got pinched. So I'm going to make it really skinny. And I'm doing a whole bunch of 1s intentionally so that I can make it look like it got pinched. But it's not complete. It's not running into another tube, and it's not going off the paper. So that means it's not done. So I'm going to make this one grow again. Okay, so here we go. Doing some 1s and some 2s. That one was a 2. Move my pencil up and do a 1. Now I'm going to make it turn. Okay, so from this point all the way up to this point, that's far to the right. So now I'm going to start to turn it to the right. So I'm going to bring my pencil up again pretty far on the curve and bring it around here. Notice there's 3 in one spot here and only 1 here. This is what's making it turn. Okay? So I'm going to go to that same spot again. I moved it up here, but I went to the same spot here. Okay? I'm going to make it get bigger again. Make sure you're starting curved and ending curved. And it went right off the paper. So this is much more interesting to look at when it can grow and pinch and get bigger and skinnier again. Let's do one more to make sure it's going right off the paper. Okay, now what happens here? Okay, so if you find a gap like this, it's okay. We can fix it. You just need to make sure that you're still achieving depth. So you still have to start round and end round. So what I would do is start here in the corner where you have the crack, and you got to go really little to start. So we're going to start round and end round. Okay, making sure that you're touching both sides of those tubes. And you might have to just do some 1s until you can get out in the middle here a little bit to make it more interesting. But make sure that you're touching one tube and then the other tube and starting round and ending round. Okay, so we're just going to make this collide into both. So here I'm going to pick up my pencil and continue on this side. So when you color this, this side will be blue and this side will be blue as well, and that will make it look like it's going underneath of this tube. So we're going to continue to do that. We're going to go on this side and then over on this side, okay, until it just disappears again. And this is going to disappear. So this one and this one will be colored the same. Okay, now it looks like we have one more that can go right here. Okay, so now we've filled in the gaps and we're still achieving depth. Guys, it's super important that you make sure you start round and end round. Okay, start round and end round. Otherwise, you're going to lose that depth. Okay, the tendency that you're going to have is to start round and end straight. Start round and end straight. Okay, if yours is starting to look like this, that is incorrect, right? You've got to start round and end round. Do you see the difference? It's very slight,